Yes, so the dramatic uptick specifically in inhalation-based exposures is because e-cigarettes were not readily adopted until the introduction of cartridge-based e-cigarettes like Juul, which came around July of 2015. So at the start of our study in 2016, we saw only 70 e-cigarette-based exposures for the year reported, whereas by 2023, there were 5,292, so a huge increase. And this age group, two and under specifically, it's actually the age group that makes up the majority of incidents pertaining to unintentional poisonings. Specifically, young children, they comprise close to 50% of all poison exposures nationally every year. So given that these are young children, they're exploratory in nature, in addition to the fact that they're teething and need to stimulate orally, they like to put things in their mouth. And in addition to these natural inclinations, children do what they see. So they're watching adults put vapes in their mouth, and these vapes are pretty appealing. They come in bright colored packages, sometimes feature small fruit icons that you would see on a candy. They can smell sweet even from the vape juice. And I've even seen some that like light up on the sides with stars and moons when inhaled, making them kind of game-like. So overall, these products, the design, they can be quite enticing to a young child and they aren't necessarily deterring. So when it comes to any age group, even. Yeah, so vapes do have an important place as a means of cessation and as a safer alternative to secondhand smoke in the household. So it is really important to be open-minded and non-judgmental of parents. General guidance regarding common hazards in the home, they should be broached during early childhood visits in general, as this is the highest risk age group when it comes to unintentional poisonings, as I had mentioned. This conversation has always included safe storage of dangerous items like, caustic cleaners, hazardous prescriptions, over-the-counter medications, and other household toxins. But given the dramatic increase in poisonings involving e-cigarettes, we believe that pediatricians should mention the need to keep e-cigarettes out of reach, especially because these are items that you are carrying around with you and can be easily left out. And in addition, I actually published another study looking at pediatric opioid poisoning and specifically analyzed the origin of the opioids underlying poisonings in children. And we found frequently that extended family members and friends could be the source as well. So, given that nicotine surely lends itself to an even more robust group of users, in these early childhood visits, you can also remind parents that poisoning dangers are also made possible by visitors of the home and while visiting the homes of others as well. So, pediatricians and nurses should understand what type of nicotine product was accessed and was it inhaled or was it ingested? If it was ingested, or if they know for inhaled as well, how much do they estimate was ingested or inhaled? Ingestion of a traditional cigarette or pouch, even including those that have been used, like a butt or a used Zyn, can cause effects, and these things can also cause delayed response. So at that point, providers should contact the Poison Control Center. The number is 1-800-222-1222, and they can determine whether to send the child to the emergency department for further evaluation. If they present to the ED, then they're going to be closely monitored for the progression of the toxicity, and they may consider treatments like activated charcoal or other critical care measures. But In terms of the specific signs and symptoms, nicotine poisoning, it displays itself as a biphasic toxidrome. So the earlier mild signs might be more stimulatory in nature, like nausea, vomiting, tachycardia, and then later, more severe signs can progress to parasympathetic and neuromuscular failure. So, like any signs of the beginning of a muscular blockade would indicate a very serious emergency.